So, the last thing we were talking about was your mom.
She was a nice lady. Very nice.
You remember her?
Yes.
You do? So how far back do you all go?
We're married 50 years, past 50 years. Aunt Bess was at our 50th anniversary party, remember?
Well, when did you all first meet?
When I was a little girl, when she got married. I knew you before you were married.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little girl.
That's
Really?
I used to come up to her mother-in-law's.
Now this was back in New York.
Yes.
My mother-in-law was a rent.
Her mother-in-law was my mother's sister.
That's right.
Okay, your mother-in-law.
Was
Okay.
her mother's sister. I still remember one night we were there one day. She and Dave, that's her husband. Come in.
Come in.
Come in.
Come in. We're taking pictures.
Come in.
Are they there?
What?
I don't know here they're there.
Right.
They can see. They hunchback. And I'm 95. I'm better than they are.
You are?
Come in. Who is it? Come in.
Yeah, this is it.
Come in. Why are you afraid? Nobody will hurt you. Yeah, see, this is my cousin,
Hello.
my nephew, my
She
niece.
expected some
See?
cousins.
And he's taking pictures of me, moving pictures.
Oh, isn't
Yeah,
that
isn't that
Hi.
nice?
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Pretty good.
Everybody all right?
Yeah, we're fine. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I just have a little excitement.
See, you're in the picture.
I'm
Mary.
in the picture.
Yeah, my
Quite evolved, at least
my
I
nephew's
guess
taking
myself.
pictures.
Bessie, I have to tell you this. I was at my aunt's house, Aunt Esha, Aunt Eva, and she and Dave were engaged, keeping company or engaged, and the two of them went into the bedroom, and they were hugging and kissing. You don't know this, but I still remember this. And I was so
Aunt Bess was?
excited about it. She and her
She's
husband.
talking about me.
Yeah, they were kissing, hugging. He was holding her and kissing her, and he was tall like she. And I stood there and I peeked in. I got such a thrill out of it. I was sneaking in, watching to see what they were doing.
And
you
you never
imagine
knew.
that?
Those years, that was a revelation
Sure,
to
to see-
youngsters.
Yeah.
To see all the people hugging and kissing.
They weren't married yet.
Today, youngsters are so blasé that it means nothing
That's
to them.
right. That's right.
It's amazing how much things have changed in,
Oh,
in
yeah.
that way.
Changed it.
Different world, entirely different. Do you want to sit down here?
But the other thing I've discovered, it's not as different as people think either.
It's not as different?
Well, certain customs are different, certain ways of behaving, and
Well, look what's happening to the youngsters today. It's unbelievable.
oh, well, that.
It's unbelievable.
What happened?
What happened?
Something special?
Well, they
Well, we
say
bought this
that the pendulum is now starting to
Swing the other
back
way.
The other way.
And I think it is.
It's terrible
And-
things that you hear.
Eventually, maybe we'll have more children joining the temple and the church
Whatever.
and living what we think is more normal lives.
Oh, I think so. That's if you look at history, that's always been the case. The one thing I've noticed as I get older, I take individual events a little less seriously because I've lived in my short span of life. I've lived long enough to see things change enough that even if they go in this direction today, I know tomorrow they're going to be going the other direction. So I think after a while you
Can I help you?
okay.
I'll see you some other time.
Okay.
Anytime that happens, let me know.
Nice meeting
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And come be a visitor more often.
Yeah, thank you.
She likes visitors.
She lives right next door. She's here a few months. She don't know if she likes it and she don't
She
like
gave me
it.
an order. We should come visit you more often.
Yeah.
Well, she seems very sweet.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
we met her
Oh, she
last
wants to
time
do
we
things
were-
for me. She
That's
likes
not the same
me.
woman.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Well,
not the
who
same
could?
woman.
Trust
I
me.
don't
She
know.
asked
At
me,
this stage,
you know,
all women look
advice.
alike to me.
She asked me advice.
Well, why not?
And she's
I'm
younger,
kidding.
much younger than I am.
She is younger than you?
Really? How
She
young?
looks older.
Sure.
She looks older.
Why, she looks old enough to be your mother.
She looks older, Bessie.
Yeah, she
Much
does.
older.
Well,
Well, let me ask you something now. To go back, you came over from Romania. Is that correct?
The what?
You came over from Romania.
That's quite a book. The life of my people.
Well, you should. Well, that's part of what I want to hear is the life of your people. Now, let me...
Rosalind wanted I should give it a biography about our life. So one day she was going to come and then she moved away.
Oh, that's too bad.
So she didn't take,
Well, let me go back over something for a second. Now, I know there was you.
Yeah.
And there was Harry.
Yeah.
And there was Fred.
Yeah, but my older sister, Helen.
And then there was Helen.
Know her?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you ever seen it.
No,
Yeah. That she was the oldest, I was second, Harry was third, and Fred was the youngest.
So Fred was the baby of the family?
Yes, he was 6 months old when my father died. And then my mother, came here a few years later.
But you and Harry came over first before she did?
No, my mother came here from Vienna with my older sister and my younger brother. Me and Harry left with one of my aunts in Vienna for 3 months. Then she sent for us. So the two of us came, two children. He was younger, 2 years younger.
Were you excited then about the idea of coming to America?
Well, at that time, I didn't like it. I was young. I didn't know the language. I only spoke Romanian and German. I learned German in Vienna. Then I learned Jewish here.
Really? So...
And I learned English. So
so that's 4 languages.
4 languages.
What did you use most of the time when you were first here?
Well, in the house I used Romanian or German. And then when I learned English, I spoke English only and forgot completely the Romanian language.
I was just going to ask you that.
Not the Jewish and not the German, because I used to speak it.
You got to...
But in 1953, I went to Israel. And it was my first trip there. And I had my family, cousins, my aunt and uncles. And they spoke Romanian to me. And they didn't know English. They didn't know no other language. Not Jewish, not German. So I had to translate to my husband. I was married. To him, from them, they spoke Romanian to me. I used to speak English. And whatever he said in English, I had to translate in Romanian. And it came back.
Huh.
I learned it again, and I used to read and write. Even now I could write Romanian.
Really? Can you speak Romanian?
I could speak Romanian better than some of the Romanian people there.
Good. Okay, let me hear a little something in Romanian.
Te iubesc foarte mult. Do you know what I told you?
No.
I love you very much.
No.
That's very cute.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'd like to ask why the family came to America.
Why did they come to America?
Why did they leave Romania?
To change their life, because the life wasn't good there, and you couldn't make a living. The mama was alone, and she was the one that took care of 4 children. We were little. But after, when we came here, we all went to work. No, not the boys. The boys were too young, so they went to school here. I didn't go to school here because we couldn't afford it. Somebody had to work. So I worked for $2 a week, for $3 a week. That
Really?
was the pay at the time.
Well, let me ask you, was it also an attitude at that time that the girls didn't get the education that the boys would, or?
Well, my sister got the education, the public school. She finished the public school. I started public school, but I didn't finish it in Romanian.
Mm.
When I came here, my sister went to night school because she had to go to work. Mama and she and I went to work. Harry and Fred went to school.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, did Harry and Fred later on start working? Because I heard a story that at one time, Grandpa worked in a store 6.5 days a week.
That's right.
And on the half day off on Sunday, he would walk from Manhattan, where I think the
Yeah.
store was,
And when
over
you-
the Brooklyn Bridge to Brooklyn
That's right.
to see your mom and give her his money
Yeah.
and visit and then come back.
Yeah. And walk over the bridge.
Now it's funny. Now let me ask.
It was 5 cents for a fare to go on the subway or a trolley
Streetcar,
car.
they didn't have subway.
But you didn't have the 5 cents.
So you'd walk.
So he used to go in the trolley car and the side door, and he got in. And then the conductor came, money. So he had to get off.
Now let me ask
He
you.
had
Now,
some-
is this the time when you both met Bess?
I didn't know her then, no. I met her when she started to go with my cousin Dave.
And so she was how old then?
I don't know.
19 when I married him. No, I was 19 when I met him.
Uh-huh.
And we went to Dr. Tenchester's bar mitzvah,
Oh,
confirmation. And that time they wrote that I was engaged.
Huh.
You know, papers. I even had the paper
oh,
somewhere.
you had to sign to be engaged?
Hmm?
You had to sign a paper to be
That's right.
engaged?
Yeah.
Oh, that I never knew.
Yeah.
Formal engagement.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
I made an engagement.
And I met,
They announced the engagement.
I remember your brother Harry, he was going out with Ida,
Yeah.
and
You mean
Ida,
Ida tried to take my brother away from his
well,
wife?
that's not the story I got, see. And he
Yeah.
used to come, he had that pat on his shoulder, he was an electrician, he had that pat on his shoulder,
He
and
didn't-
Ida was
He
upstairs.
didn't know at that time.
Yes,
He only knew her when I got married.
No,
Just
dear.
before I got married.
you may have been married then. I don't know. And Ida was upstairs, and he was there. I was there. I was a little girl. I could hear him talking to her. He said, "When shall I come to see you?" And she called down to him.
Yeah.
I remember
and when
that
I went
very
to the
vivid in
window,
my mind. What?
yeah, when I went to the window, I said, "This is my brother's ring." So she didn't like the idea because I was by her mother there.
Oh,
So, you know,
I could remember it very well.
he was very young when he.
I don't know how old he was. I was a youngster, but he had that, and he was talking to Ida upstairs. Well,
No,
whatever.
that time he was. Harry was married to Becky, to my to his grandma.
No, that time he wasn't
Yes.
married.
I remember. I remember
And I.
things when I was 40 years old, when my father went to his business, and he said nobody took in the yard. He put a line to cross that line. But if we do cross the line, we're gonna get punished. So nobody crossed the line.
Why?
Was afraid.
Why?
I was 40 years old.
What was crossing the line? What was that for?
In the yard. To go so far, but not outside of the yard.
Oh,
In Romania.
Oh,
that
oh,
was.
oh,
That was before he died.
yeah.
and I met your grandaunt, Bessie Epstein, after I married my wife.
Yeah, after we
Sid.
were married, yeah.
Yeah.
He met
Now
you.
that was,
And Dave.
About 50 years ago.
Yeah.